A very good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Ultimate Pool Masters. Enter Topcat. Exit Topcat. Scratches straight in off his first break. A rather tanned-looking TC is taking on Scott Pope in a very, very tricky round 2 tie for the pair of these gentlemen. Scott gets first go in frame 1. Race to 13. A reminder, 2 session matches here at the Ultimate Pool Masters. We'll play 12 frames in session 1, played to a 50-minute match clock. And then we'll come back later this evening to finish the match, however that may be. Whoever gets to 13 first, game will end. Scott's cannon has not come out as he might have wished. It's Stephen Jameson here with you to kick us off this evening, alongside the one and only Simon Webb.
Evening. Yeah, this is a big match, really. I know it's Tom and Scott's both first round matches. It's the last 64, but Scott, I think he's reached the pro level option in the past. He's certainly pro level player. There's a number of professionals I would have him as favourite against, actually, if they were in this situation. Tom, not one of them, obviously. He's the best player in the world. But that, my point being that this is, considering the way the draw could be, or what it could have been, this is tough. Tom, of course, will be favourite. The longer the race goes, the more favourite he becomes. But Scott's a player that he likes to make a big statement, and beating Tom Cousins in this format,
oh yeah,
would be a big statement.
It certainly would. Elsewhere tonight, we'll see 2 matches in total, 4 sessions. We'll see Tom Cousins versus Scott Pope, essentially twice. Our second full match will be the defending champion. The magician Chris Melling is in the house. He takes on the Joker, Jimmy Croxton, in what I would put to you is an equally horrible second round draw for the pair of them.
Yeah, first match for Chris, which actually adds to it as well, because Jimmy had to come through a hard-fought battle earlier on today, whereas Chris is having to hit the ground running against a player that has been showing great signs of life of late, as Jimmy Croxton. He's certainly a player on the rise right now, becoming a full-time coach, has elevated his own personal game, essentially involved or playing or coaching at all times now, so really has improved himself.
This has been an excellent visit to the table from Scott Pope. Very, very smooth, controlled. Everything was where it needed to be as he goes 1-0 up against the number 1.
And he's going to have to play like that for a long time to take it to Tom, simply because the level that we know that Tom can play at. And beating Tom in a race to 7 or 8 is one thing, but beating him in a race to 13 is a whole different deal. But that's the start.
He's strapped in for the long haul. He's got one of those neck fans.
It's warm. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's that warm out there.
I mean, you're wearing jeans.
I'm wearing jeans. I'm wearing long sleeves. And I'm very comfortable. I know I'm not out on the TV table with the TV lights on me, but we've got some pretty strong lights in the studio here. So yeah, it's not as hot as I think people feared it was going to be.
Put it this way, I'm sat here and I wouldn't be against having a neck fan around me. Like a cool little cuddle.
Oh, maybe it's the ice cream I just had that's kept me cool.
Huge break.
Can't be dry, no.
It's going to be.
Balls were racing each other into pockets.
It can.
It's messy though. This is tricky. This is a tricky layout here.
Well, this is a layout that I would define as a Tom Cousins layout. It looks really tricky right now. I have a suspicion in 3 shots time it may look routine. This is the Topcat MO.
Just wonder if he's straight enough on this yellow, can he screw straight back up the right-hand side of the table to deal with the yellow at the top? And once that's gone, it does change things a little bit. Oh, he was straight enough, but he's got the line wrong. The problem at the bottom isn't as big a problem as the one at the top, was the sort of point I was getting to. And Tom is, he's shown this. I mean, we've been analysing his game for years now, and he is so quick to attack his problem ball. And if he doesn't get it, often he'll pull back. It would not surprise me to see him pull back here.
He's got the dominant set. He could easily opt. Well, he's going game. Watch this. I like the thinking. I really like the thinking, but the pot's not there. Tricky one, mind. It's a high tariff shot that he took on. And I think he took it on. Tom's far more cerebral than maybe a few would give him credit for. He took it on looking at the table, looking at reds, thinking, even if I don't get this, what do I turn over? Not a huge amount. It was a bit of a free go, that.
And if he gets the break out at the top or lands where he does and makes the ball, then yeah, he can continue to attack. That's unfortunate for Scott. He's tried to play the lost turn, change the bottom end of the table, but he's put a yellow up the table where it's a connector for Tom to his bad ball at the top. So that actually, if the yellow passes the red to bottom left, and I'm pretty sure he can see the one to bottom right now, Tom has a genuine chance to go, and it's not that difficult.
Well, he has to be able to see the one to bottom right, but to bottom left as we look from the overhead here, and he can. That's massive. If he couldn't, he was actually in a bit of trouble. Just sneak through to it, look. Pokes it in. Because actually, the only ball he could sort of quite obviously pot was the one up to top right, but that was off angle for the connection to the other one at the top of the table. So Scott's almost doubly unfortunate there, that not only has he made his own pull set significantly worse and given Tom an option, he also left him on.
There was one thing you would say, there's a lot going on Scott's shot. It wasn't just a kind of controlled loss of turn, it was kind of a fiery loss of turn where he was kind of rearranging the furniture and all sorts was happening.
Is Tom in bother here? Or is he okay?
He looks like he's in bother. I don't think he's on this yellow.
Yeah, that tells us all we need to know. Furrowed brow from Topcat.
Yeah, he's swerving it, which means if he does get it, he's not going to get the angle he wants.
Or is he?
Yeah, he's got the wrong angle at the table. That's the problem. He was going to swerve to make that ball, but he couldn't leave himself. He needed to be straighter on this ball or off straight the other way to play on it. Now, he's going to have to use the fact he's got lots of angle and come across the table and back across. If he can do that, I'm not sure he can.
He'd have to cue it unbelievably well.
If he plays this natural, I think he just misses the yellow, and I don't think he can dig it enough. What am I talking about? Oh, what a shot that is. What a shot.
Oh, that's a bit special.
Dig it, he can. Wow. Had to really get the bite there, because if he doesn't get the bite, he doesn't hit the side cushion. If he hits the top cushion before the side cushion, he's dead.
But the pace control on that is flawless. That's serious from Topcat, it really is.
Now, does the 8-ball go? We hadn't really considered that because he landed poorly at the top of the table, but he flicked the 8-ball. It must do, because he's not tried to do anything.
Yeah, you look at camera one, you think there's no chance. Now look at the overhead, and I'm pretty sure it slides. Wonder if we've got a camera down there to tell us.
Well, he's looked at the potting angle, so this must go.
Yeah, flies in. There you go.
That's
easy does it. What a naughty little out that was from Tom Cousins.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was one of those where after Scott played his shot, you looked at the table, and this was the great shot. Look at that.
I got a question for you here, Si. Do you think that is the sort of shot that our brand new shiny cloth makes
without a
sort of possible?
Yeah, it's very reactive. It's very grippy out there. It's very, very quick out there. But what, to me, it sort of separates it a little bit is, and this is feedback from the players, you know, we're talking about some of the best in the game. Declan Brennan, for example, said it's the best cloth he's ever played on. It feels, whilst you can get on some really quick tables and some really reactive tables, and they just feel like it's almost a little bit borderline controllable. This just feels like you're under complete control of what you're doing out there. 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏's break is currently off, 2 from 2, dry. Maybe a little bit trickier chance this time round for Scott. He won't worry about the previous frame. He played a loss of turn and asked a question of Tom, and Tom answered it. He was behind in the tactical exchange. In the first frame, he took out a really nice reverse clearance, so that's what he'll try and do here.
Yeah, he can't be too perturbed. Scott Pope just needs to keep on keeping on.
Is he straight enough here? He is. It was important to get straight enough to be able to just drop that in. I think in an ideal world, he would love to have been 1 or 2 turn, maybe just 1 turn higher, so that he could have played the one to right centre, dealt with the one bottom right, and then popped this one in. Because that one bottom right, it's a little bit away from the rest of the connections. That right now has to be your connector to the 8-ball, and it's not a great connector. It would be sort of suggesting you'd play underneath the 8-ball, which doesn't really have a good pocket from there, or you have to force it to get above it. That's where if he was better on that shot 2 ago, he could have come down. Wouldn't have tried to get too close to the one he's just potted, but just get in line on it. How good is that?
How's your nudge?
That's very, very good, that line, though. He knows on that, if the red he flicked, if he gets it fuller, he's still on the yellow. But the benefit, the closer he got to this yellow, the better it was going to be, the easier it was going to be. He's actually probably landed a turn 2 straight.
Yeah, he probably didn't think he'd get that close.
No.
Tough little bit of cue in this as well, right on the stretch for Scott Pope. Yeah, just sort of accepts it and doesn't try to do too much.
If he's 1 ball further left in that situation, as we look from this main camera, then right now he's where the red is in the middle of the table rather than here. That's the difference without having to overforce a shot.
Still an 8-ball he would expect to make. And an 8-ball he does indeed make. Excellent start this from both players. Sort of standard that I think we expected. Scott Pope tends to be a bit of a man for the big occasion. He's had really good runs in Ultimate Pool tournaments, particularly last year. I think he had a great run in the British Open, maybe a semi-final if memory serves. I think he went well again in the European. And that was as a position as an amateur, so no draw protection whatsoever. He was straight in at the deep end, playing against the big fishes.
Didn't he win? Didn't he make the final of the British Open?
No, British Open final was Scott Gillespie against that man right there who got the victory. But I think you might be right. All sort of merges into one. Puts under pressure. We'll get to 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 in a second. I think I'm with you. I think Scott Pope made a...
It was one of the opens, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think he went very, very deep. Scratches this break, and this is a very inviting layout if your name is Tom Cousins.
Yeah, it was the European Open who he lost in the semi-finals to Jack Whelan, who went on to lose in the final to Scott Gillespie. That was the tournament I was thinking about. Tom Cousins also made the semi-finals of that event. He lost a hill-hill battle with Scott Gillespie.
Remember that match? A little bit of revenge for 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏s following that British Open final loss.
Yeah, he was fantastic in the tournament, wasn't he? To think about here for Tom. He knows the finish is on. It's just trying to work out how he wants to attack it. like he wants the reds here. Gut feel is that yellows are stronger, but he probably... I was thinking that could you play the yellow off the red to left centre, and that opens up the pocket to the other two. But I think it's so deep in, that shot's not really on. You can kind of graze off it, but maybe not bigger than that. So he needs to find quite a small window to be on the red to left centre at some point. And ideally he'd like that to be for the 8-ball. So if he was to do the 3 at the top, can he get on the 1 at the bottom and then thread the needle? Or does he have another plan? Is he thinking about getting that one out the way and then the 1 at the top gets onto the red? It's all about the red left centre, even though it's hanging over a pocket. It's how do you get there with margin?
There is not much room. I think he's on it right now, but I mean, you're not going to play, I don't think. But
so I think he's thinking. Obviously, this 1 at the bottom was going to be very difficult. There's no gap. I think if he gets on the 1 at the top from where he was, which is from the low angle. Oh, he's gone too far up the table. That's further than he was thinking, and this is a really poor angle. I think he wanted to almost be level, maybe just above the centre pocket, because then you could play 2 cushions and almost target the line across the diagonal towards the 8-ball, where a flick on the yellow was going to get you on the red. And if you just hit the line you want, you're on the red naturally. But he's so straight here. How on earth is he going to get anywhere near? Just off straight the wrong way is even worse. Oh, that's so good.
There's your answer.
Is he a roll short?
I think he is.
He definitely is by his
I think
reaction.
he only has to absolutely tickle this red.
Oh, yeah.
And he's guaranteed to be on the 8-ball, but...
If he reached the jaw of the centre pocket, he's on the red, but he hasn't.
Can he see the faintest of edges? Or is he in real bother?
He's in real bother. He can't see that edge.
Oh, here we go. Well...
It's amazing, really, that the problem ball on the table...
It's one that was halfway in the pocket.
It really is hanging over the pocket. You breathe on it and it goes in. It's
well, it's almost in the mechanism. It's so far in. Just poke it, but yeah.
Extension call.
I like that. That's clever. Playing that as a combination. So now the yellow that he's nearest to, if all things go to plan from here, will now be his last ball onto the 8-ball. If all things go to plan, he might have to take it to right centre. He has got the 1 at the bottom, I suppose. He doesn't. I mean, that 8-ball's not a challenge to get on from any of the balls left on the table, so he doesn't need to hold it for the 8-ball. Made sure to finish high there.
Yeah.
No attempt to do anything else, but in fact he widened it just a touch. High angle gets him on the 8-ball. I'd like to be closer than this. No bother though. Heart of the pocket.
Very, very high tariff, high level starts. Scott Pope is completely dialed in, you can tell.
I completely agree.
And it's what can happen when your name is Tom Cousins. Absolutely everybody in the world wants to give you a good hiding and knows they're going to have to be at their very best to do it.
Yeah, when I saw the draw, you just knew this was a match that Scott was going to really enjoy. It's his sort of target, really. Long, long way to go, though. We're only 4 frames into a 25-frame match. Early running, though, very much going to the man from the southwest. Change of break for Tom. Wasn't going to hang around if it wasn't working. Changed it up. The split's good. The result's good. He's made a ball. Problem is the first shot.
It still never quite sits right with me to watch Topcat cut breaking.
He has a great cut break, though.
He does.
He does, yeah. This is really challenging. He wants yellows here, but he doesn't have an opener. I mean, he doesn't have an opener on reds either, but was he considering playing off one yellow to pop the other? That's a big shot. Could easily catch the low jaw here if that's what he's playing. Oh, played it beautifully.
What I've particularly enjoyed about this match so far is that it's not been flawless. Like, players have made mistakes, but the tariff of the finish has been really high. So it still feels like we're watching two players play really, really well, but it feels like it's constantly on the edge of something happening. Do you sort of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been tough, but it's been really engaging.
That's a lovely little shot from 𝗔𝗃.
I also think Tom's been a little bit... He's obviously still dominating. Obviously, Declan is getting very close to him. The fact that he nearly took away his #1 ranking from him when they squared off in the Pro Series last time out. But Tom's been a little bit feast or famine. He's had a lot of first-round exits this year. And
he's still won 2 Pro Series
titles.
But
he's also won 2 titles. But he has been knocked out early.
I think if you are going to get him, early's the way to do it.
Yeah.
The longer he goes in a tournament, the more and more dangerous he gets.
So I was
not just in, sorry to cut you off there, size, he knocks in the 8-ball, but not just, I think, because of, let's call it the Tom Cousins factor. All of a sudden you're playing Tom Cousins in a quarter and a semi. You're playing Tom Cousins in a quarter and a semi. It affects, I think, the way that I think a lot of players might line up in that regard. But I think for Tom himself, as soon as he feels settled in a tournament and he sort of gets going, it can be a little bit slow at times to get going at the start of tournaments, and that's when he might be vulnerable. But getting 2 or 3 matches in, he starts to roll, and he's so difficult to knock out.
To add a little bit to that, I was going to get the statisticians onto this. On my drive up here, I was thinking about the tournament and wondering what we might see. Obviously, deep race, your attention turns to the top players, and obviously Tom pops in your mind and thinking, well, this is a great format for him, and it really is. Has Tom lost a final with Ultimate Pool? I know he lost the Masters against the WEPF World Masters against Declan in a great match, but has he lost a final in any Ultimate Pool event? I don't think he has. I think he's 13 from 13.
Oh, that's astonishing.
And I wanted to go and check that out. I haven't had a chance. But I think he's 13 from 13 in Ultimate Pool terms.
I mean, that would be an astonishing record. And off the top of my head, can't think of one. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's not true. I'm gonna get someone to look that up.
He's had
right
quite
now.
a few semi-finals.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked about one there with Scott Gillespie. He had one. He's had a few now against Declan semis. That Declan's got him quarters. I don't think he's lost in a final with Ultimate Pool yet. I've probably got people watching at home screaming at me. But I don't think he has. Also, just want to float that 13 number out. The next on the list of most titles with Ultimate Pool is on 5. Just throw that out there. He's on 13. Dry break, so Tom can get on level terms here if he can find the reverse.
He's definitely lost one, possibly two. He lost his first Ultimate Pool final.
Of course, to
Jordan
Jordan
Shepherd Pro Cup. His first ever Ultimate Pool tournament.
Yeah. That was before Tom Cousins turned up, though.
Yeah.
He had a dip for about half a year. He actually played brilliantly in that tournament, played unbelievable in that tournament. Then dipped for about 6 months before hitting the practice table hard and coming out swinging, and then that is the version of Tom you are now seeing. Even the greats have to practice at this game from time to time.
Every now and then.
Red ball's in play.
That one's gone wrong for Tom. He's made the ball, but he's knocked a red awkward. So he's 13 from 14 then, as far as we're aware. Still not bad.
Oh, I never said it was bad.
You take it.
Yeah, I think you would. Just because there's so many tournaments, and Tom Cousins tends to find himself in the final of a lot of them. I have a suspicion he might have lost a Pro Series final in his first year. Just trying to drag that up.
But to put that into kind of context a little bit, I don't think Declan will be too far behind on the number of finals he's got to.
No? Declan has famously lost quite a few.
Declan's lost a lot of finals.
Yeah.
And they are the two standouts right now, numbers 1 and 2 in the game, and they've separated a little bit as well. Both been in the titles this year.
And for me, they really have separated as well,
I agree.
because you know, I think back to the Pro Series final that we watched them in, a month ago now in Bolton. I mean, that for me, maybe the best Pro Series final we've had.
Pro Series final for sure.
I mean, the level was just terrifying.
That was a tough shot for Tom. He needed to be an extra few inches down the table to make that a little bit more of a certainty. So another one gets... Tom's certainly giving away more chances than Scott right now, so another one gets away. That's not gone to plan. It won't be the quick counter for Scott unless he can find a big shot later in this visit. He can still keep this one going with right centre, but that right centre is his ball to do the breakout if he wants it. It's not ideal. This time he gets the breakout beautifully. Very nicely reworked.
I think the dilemma that Scott's got in his head right now is he's thinking, oh, this yellow is such a good last ball. I had to get rid of it. And he's just got a good last shot to play on his final yellow. It's one that he'd fancy himself to make, but he is going to need to play a good shot to land nicely on that 8 ball. A couple of good shots to play before then. It's been the first. Oh, he's potting a clean ball. He really is potting clean. This is awkward. Needs to really dig this too. Oh, shot. Shot. Very, very good this from Scott Pope. He has started beautifully. Don't think Tom Cousins will be overly concerned. He's seen players do this to him before. And it's all on Scott Pope now, essentially. Can he go toe-to-toe over the next... Well, we got 75 minutes of match clock with Tom Cousins. He's shown that he can stretch out a lead. But there's still a long, long way to go in this match for him to maintain this excellent level with which he started.
Yeah, he's been very, very good, hasn't he?
That was a brilliant little finish.
Frame 7. Tom Cousins to break. Training 4 frames to 2.
Tom Cousins continues to cut break. And why wouldn't you when it comes out like that?
8 ball's gone tricky.
Yellow ball's in play.
This also becomes the challenge when you're playing against a player that's playing great, as Scott Pope is. He's taking out his finishes and making tough finishes look really good. Table will look tough to Tom. And he'll feel right now that he's had a lot of tough layouts to go at.
He will, and it's not getting any easier. He may have to take the yellow he's closest to now. But where is the cue ball going after that?
He had to be so careful on that break and that breakout shot there, not to pot the 8 ball.
I think he's going to have to be careful here too.
Yeah, but the problem was that he had to make that breakout at the same time as not blocking this one off, which he has, so he has to now take it top right because you're not going to get better. And cue ball is tough here. Needs a bounce. Needs a bounce. And he's blocked off the yellow as well. He's absolutely nowhere. This is getting tough. He's 2 behind here. He's in a world of trouble. Scott Pope, if he gets a sniff in this one, you feel will counter pretty easily, and he'll have the break in the next. He's taking it to the number 1. Yeah, that's a good shot from Tom. Tap of the table from Scott to appreciate it. He's put the cue ball in a really tough spot for him.
Yeah, and made those reds at the bottom of the table awkward. Not impossible, just awkward. And there's no... It's difficult to hide the white for Scott. So much so he may just have to go at this awkward red. Go he does. Doesn't make it. Problem.
He has blocked off the yellow that's above the cue ball now, though. He's left him... Good news is he's done that, but the bad news is he's left him on the one to bottom left. The one up the table's a double all day long, so can Tom play the combination and get up for the double? Well, we know he can, but can he execute?
He'll absolutely fancy this combo. The fact that he naturally has to draw this shot will help the combo too.
It was more of a punchy shot than it was a draw shot. If he plays that as a screw shot, it makes the combination easier.
Yeah.
But the way he had to play it in that kind of punchy way, it just made the shot a lot harder in a strange way. He could have done with being straighter or more angle.
Yeah, I thought he'd be able to, but alas not. A bit of a wince from Topcat. Oh, wow. You lucky boy.
That's the first one in the match, isn't it? The first real huge error that Scott's made. And it was all his concentration was on the cannon, which he got perfectly. Huge fluke. And that's a big dagger. Those,
I mean, that is a sickening fluke.
it is, and psychologically that's huge. I think the red passes the 8-ball. Problem is he's got too much angle on this one to right centre, because he'd like to get fairly straight in on the red top right and then the one by the 8-ball net last. But he's going to have to just accept. He could have gone up and played for the one by the 8-ball to top right there, but no guarantee he gets the angle to get better than this, so he's accepted what he's got. And he rolls it in like it's hanging over the pocket. Holds up his hand to acknowledge the big fluke.
It's the first time you've sort of seen Scott Pope offer up any kind of emotion or even recognition that anything is happening in the world outside of that main arena. Probably a good thing for him. It's next to impossible to lock in and focus for such an extended period of time. That little sort of mental break almost of just having a little chuckle about the fluke probably help him a little bit, just refocus and zone back in.
I think that's a good thing. I think to try and concentrate for, it's a 50-minute session, call it an hour, hour and 5 with racking. It's really tough to do that all the way through. You are better to have that kind of switch on, switch off. I know it's a sort of state that golfers get into, that they switch on for their moment where they hit, and then in between they're relaxing and chatting. I think that's definitely a more sustainable way of going. So it was good to see that from Scott. And a little
yeah, the rub's with him at the moment.
a little nudge, wasn't it? Just a mini one, not the one he's going to hold his hand up for, but this cue ball could have easily been kicked into the corner, and it was straight into Tom's corner as well. Right now, though, he's playing all the pull, and he's getting the couple of nudges. Beautiful shot. Really, really nice. That changes this layout. He is on the one by the 8-ball, but if he's landed fairly straight on this to the centre, it's a bonus. And a bonus he's not going to turn down.
Nor should he.
Yeah. Just means he can get closer to this one on the left-hand side, which is the one I think he's going to play on here. If he has to play that one previously, he's a ball lower. Therefore, he's above the centre pocket, which doesn't have too much of an effect, but enough. You want to be right behind your work, especially on those sorts of shots. And now it's routine. It's scorer can stick this one up. It is done.
12 frames in this first session. We are 2/3 of the way through with 8 in the book. Scott Pope has won 6 of them.
Can't be behind coming into the final session.
Yeah, good way to look at it. I wonder if he's thinking that.
Yeah, how far in front is he going to be is what he's thinking. How many, what's there left? 4 left right now. He's thinking over the moon if he shares them. He'll be thinking more positively than that, though. He'll be thinking win this next 4 frames 3-1, and you've broken the back of the match completely.
Yeah, there's a long, long way to go. It's a race to 13. Scott Pope's not even hit the halfway stage yet, but
6 frames to 2.
there will be a bit of focus from Tom just to not allow that lead to get much further. He is capable of devastating comebacks. Showed that in a couple of finals last season. I remember in this venue, saw it in the British Open famously, but also in the Pro Cup final against Declan Brennan. He won the last 5 straight with Decky on the hill.
Yeah, we're almost going to have to come up with a name for it, because he kind of swings his cue at one, doesn't he? And all of a sudden everything starts to fly in, and before you know it, he's just turned the tables.
Extension call.
Looks like he really wants to be reds. The yellow that's in amongst those reds, I thought originally that might go to bottom left corner, in which case the yellow left centre would be a great starter, and yellows aren't too bad, but I don't think it did.
He's going to really want that red to go bottom right, and I'm not sure it does. I am not sure it does. Well, in fact, I'm sure it doesn't now, after watching TC's body language.
Yeah, I wasn't sure until I saw the body language.
Just tucking up, I think.
That's a nice shot. Opens up that red, so it now goes. Gets the other one into play and leaves nothing. Delicate little shot required here from Scott, but he should gain advantage. Next time he comes to the table, I'll be very surprised if he doesn't have a chance to win the frame.
Goodness me. Can't get much closer.
No, that was a great effort. It just shows that Tom had done the same assessment, that he couldn't see a way of keeping it safe, so all-out attack. And Scott does get the chance to go and win this frame. This is to guarantee a lead at the end of the session. That yellow right in the middle of the table just needs landing on. Yeah, he's obviously going away from his work off this next one. Probably going to have to play on the yellow nearest the top left. But it's so guarded where it depends on how he gets on it. He might not have a good angle to get on the last yellow, even though it looks easy enough in the middle of the table. It's actually a tricky little spot he's in here. That's why he's running around the 3 cushions, and well, that was a fabulous effort. If he misses the yellow altogether, it's perfect. Now he's flicked it. He may have made things a little tricky. Does it go top right? It's really bad angle. It goes right center, really bad angle. If it goes for the one at the top, it's a tough line to find.
Tough line to find. How's your nudge?
He's had a flick.
Well, they're just running his way for now. No mistake about it. Let's not get things twisted. Scott Pope is playing brilliantly.
Yes.
But Scott Pope is getting the run too. And when you combine those two factors, it is no surprise to see Scott Pope go 7-2 in front. Or does he?
We're in for some fun and games here. How does Tom win this frame with that red there?
I'm really surprised he's hung that.
Yeah, he's actually missed it by a long way.
A long way, yeah.
What does Tom do? Does he back himself to get super short position?
He's actually missed it by so far. I'm amazed he's actually hung it over the pocket.
Yeah, could easily have spat out. This frame is I actually still think I've got Scott Pope as favourite for this frame. It's not much in it. Okay, Tom's given himself a good angle to get to it, but there's just no room here.
I wonder if he feels he can play into it. Because he doesn't need to do a huge amount to it. Just sort of kick it towards the middle of the top cushion and all of a sudden it's much easier.
Good call. Really good call, I think.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah. Scott Pope's not favourite first frame anymore.
No, I quite fancy this bloke.
Yeah. It's a big moment, that missed 8-ball. It really is, because Scott played, I mean, I know he had the big miss with the fluke. There was a couple of small nudges, but he's played great, and, you know, there is plenty of times it's the kind of known thing, really. It's certainly how pool players feel, that when you play well, you get those little touches. Nothing major, nothing you hold your hand up for, just a little something here or there.
And it's amazing how quickly momentum can swing. Scott Pope has had all of it, particularly in the last 4 frames or so. And you know, you watch this game a lot, and it's the sort of thing that happens, and you just would be so incredibly unsurprised to see the next chance fall to Tom Cousins, the next frame go to Tom Cousins, and all of a sudden the gap's 2 frames, and then it's game back on.
Well, now, you know, before the ball's hit, if you said to Scott Pope, you're going to get a 7-5 lead, he'd be over the moon with that. Missing that for 7-2 and having the break in the next with 3 to play, if he only gets out of this 7-5, he'll be very disappointed, and yet there's still a chance for 6-6. It's amazing how it can change.
Booming break. What's the leave like? Oh, there's some work. Of course there's work.
It doesn't have a clean pot on. I don't believe he's got a clean ball he can pot from here.
I think he has the yellow just below the cue ball.
He's going for the double.
Oh, it's a big shot. just roll it in, Scott.
So now they've got the 1 on the left-hand side that doesn't pass the yellow. The 1 to the right-hand side of that, but once the other red's out of the way, that will go right centre. So there's 1 ball to deal with. Now he probably can leave himself an angle to deal with it next shot. Get this one, bump it on and off, leave that angle where he can go into it and good things can happen. And he's decided to pull back. Well, he's pulled back to get the gap. I thought he was going to float it in so he stays underneath the red in the triangle area. He's come above it, but he's still got the angle. It looks straighter than it is here. There you go, that shows you. That's perfect. It's okay, it's okay. It's actually okay.
It's nice.
He's got to play a couple of delicate positional shots here, but this isn't bad. He's on a choice of 2. Don't think he got the cannon as he wanted to there. Sort of glanced off it a bit. He's got an angle here where he's just going to pop into the other red. If it goes, he might be able to screw past it, but I think it might be a little glancing screw shot off it. No, he's decided to leave it alone, so he's happy with it. Does it only go right centre? doesn't look like there's a chance of going left centre. I am surprised he didn't play that little flick. Just the same shot, but you're just adjusting the where you're potting the ball in the pocket, and you're almost just screwing off it, and the cue ball's not going to be as pacey, but you'd be on the choice of two. Worst case, you're on this one he's on now, thin. Best case, you're on straight in on the one that he hasn't moved. So it's the double.
Well, you saw how comfortable he was with the double at the start of the frame.
Of course.
Never in doubt. Is he on the 8?
It's an easy enough swerve, I think, if he's not.
Into that bit.
It is a tiny little, but it's just a delicate one. See the left-hand side on?
Yeah. No way.
The side's going to take it in. Oh, my. Oh, he had the side to turn that in as well. How has that stayed on the pocket? The minute he hit that, I thought he's in trouble. Look at the side on this. The side's going to pull it in, remember.
Oh, that is extraordinary.
Are we putting that in the same camp as the fluke, or are we putting that in the same camp as the sort of the mini nudges? Or I think it's probably somewhere in between.
Yeah.
It's another example, though. Just look, he's played great, but a tiny little touch.
That is incredible, really. I can't believe that stayed up.
Tom Cousins to break, trailing 7 frames.
2 more frames left in this session, and Tom could do with them both.
Yeah, he really could. He's going to get first go.
He is.
Is this the first sort of routine layout that we've seen in what feels like quite a long time? I don't think Tom Cousins here is going to hang about.
He's had some tough layouts, there's no doubt. He's
Yeah.
had some tough. He's made more mistakes than Scott, just in general play, but he's had a couple of tough layouts. But I always think with that, you know, when Tom's at his best, he makes tricky layouts look like they're easy ones, and I think Scott's done that in this match as well. That layout that Scott's just taken out, if you analyse the table before he hit a ball, it was tough. You know, he didn't have an open pot on. Starts with a double. You know, it was very, very good.
This finish, for me, has gone exactly as I thought it would from as soon as I saw the layout that Tom left himself.
It leaves a big frame, doesn't it? One more left to play in the session. The match clock's now irrelevant because we will play this frame out to a conclusion. And 8-4 and 7-5 are quite big in terms of going on break and sitting on it. You know, 2 frames or 4 frames is what we're talking about.
It's a huge swing.
It's a big swing.
It's a huge swing.
As I say, I think the way that Scott's played in this session, if he only gets out 7-5, he'd have taken it before the session started, but especially missing the 8 ball,
I
think he would be disappointed.
Yeah, and to flip that, I think if you offered Tom Cousins 7-5 after that session of pool, he would snap your hand off.
I agree completely. This is huge. This frame alone, break clearance from Scott would be a statement to finish the session. He's breaking well. Oh, I thought he was kicked in off again. But he's not, and he's got a really, really good opportunity again. Question mark on 1 yellow. Does that force you to go reds? Where's the 8 ball going on reds? We know he's comfortable with a double, so I think it will be reds, and we'll see how he works it, whether it will be a double or whether he gets better than that. Very surprised if he doesn't get to the 8-ball. If he leaves the red top right, if he can, then he's pretty comfy on the double. Don't think the yellow's in the way. If it is, that changes things. I think it's a clean pocket. Well, the way he's looking here, maybe it's not. Is he looking at what angle he wants on the red to the centre? Is he playing underneath the 8-ball, on and off the cushion to bump it into play? Or is he thinking 8-ball off the cushion, off the yellow?
I don't think that 8-ball goes straight.
No, I don't think it does.
Yeah.
But I was always working on the assumption that the double went and the ball top right was going to get you on the double, but you could see he was lining up what angle he wanted on the red. If he gets perfect, he can go top through, cushion into the 8-ball where you're almost guaranteed to be on it. That looks good.
A little bit of left-hand side, just to spin in behind it.
He's just played short position, didn't even try and bump it. Just played that short position. That was well thought out, but he's not straight. This is very missable.
Digging down as well. Well, I tell you what, Scott Pope, that is a hell of a session. 12 frames of pool against the best player in the world, and he has come out well ahead. 4 frames to Tom Cousins, 8 to Scott Pope, and this match is quite beautifully poised. Good evening, Tony Holgate.
Good evening, JMO. How are we, sir?
Mr. Run himself.
Mr. Run? Well, I don't know about that. I didn't run anywhere recently.
Tom Cousins breaks off. He's sticking with the cut break, which generally he hit pretty well. And I think he'll be pretty pleased with what he's left himself here. He has got a bit of work. Red and yellow have come together on the right-hand side.
Well, he's got to be right at it from the offset. As Tom, I did watch the first session of Tom and Scott from afar while I had a bite to eat. And I have to say, that's as well as I've ever seen Scott Pope play.
Yeah, it was excellent. He really was. And Tom didn't play particularly badly. He did get an awful lot of what we'd call tough finishes. This could be another one. That's an excellent double. And now look at yellows. Look how good they look. Amazing how often he does just that. Plays 2 shots at the start of a visit. And then you reassess what the table looks like and you go, oh yeah, this looks good.
Well, I have to say, I just walked past as they just before they kicked off, and I saw Tom, had a little laugh with him, and he was very jovial. For somebody that's 8-4 down, he was having a laugh and a giggle. He's absolutely relaxed.
Yeah, he's not disturbed by the scoreline at all. It's a race to 13. Scott Pope still needs to win 5 frames, and that right now is a long way away. There's plenty of time on the clock here. Tom Cousins, by nature of being the best player in the world, will fear nobody. He's come back from bigger deficits against more storied opposition in bigger matches. This will not faze him.
Yeah, I remember Tom just after the first session, also because he popped in here and he gave a little bit of an analysis of that first session. And he said, well, pretty much Scott says played perfect. He said, I maybe missed one ball here and there, but and he was, very complimentary about Scott and how he played, and just said, we're back again this evening, and let's see what happens. He's very, very upbeat about being 8-4 down.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not be complimentary really about the way that Scott played? He got a fluke, which helped him win a frame, but other than that, was very, very impressive indeed.
Do you know what? Tom never mentioned that fluke either in that conversation.
No, No, he didn't.
As he wastes no time in taking the opening frame.
Yeah, not too sure what he's asking referee 𝗪𝗏𝗃𝗃 about, but he seems pretty unruffled, as Tom Cousins largely tends to be. He's a pretty unflappable guy. So then, 8-4 becomes 8-5.
Well, you feel like if that's the mood Tom's in this evening, you feel like Scott Pope's got to deliver exactly what he did earlier today.
Well, this is what Tom Cousins does. He forces you to play to a level that really puts you bang under it. Scott Pope played brilliantly. In a race to 8, he's comfortably beaten Tom Cousins. This is not a race to 8. This is a long old race over best part of 2 hours. You don't just get to beat Tom Cousins by beating him in a race to 8. You've got to keep on going, keep up that level. If Scott Pope drops, you bet your bottom dollar Tom Cousins will be waiting. He's like the Lord Voldemort of the ultimate pool world. He's the Grim Reaper.
Wow.
Just waiting to pounce.
Such a lovely guy, but being called the Grim Reaper and Lord Voldemort. How dare you speak about Topcat like that?
Of course he's a lovely guy, but on the pool, he's the big bad monster, isn't he?
He is.
On the table, he's the man to be feared. He's the man to beat. He's the Death Star. Don't know how many more metaphors I can work in.
I don't know, but it's just never ending.
It's a lovely shot. And it would be so Tom Cousins to open up the second session, rattle off the first couple of frames, and say to Scott Pope, "Oh, you thought this would be easy."
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Scott Pope has sat there for 2 frames, watched Tom Cousins dish. His 4-frame lead has gone to a 2-frame lead.
Yeah,
and that's nothing.
I don't think he's under that illusion. Surely you can't be. You know who you're playing.
No, I'm just saying it could get into his head.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. Because Scott would have walked away from that first session like he's won the match. You would have to be in the back of your mind, you just beat Tom Cousins 8-4. Yeah, but it's a race of 13. Tom knows it's a race of 13.
You can't fall into that trap if you're Scott Pope. And to be fair to him, I think one of the things that impressed me so much in that first session was how focused. Oh, hello.
No, he's okay.
He's okay, judged perfectly. Is how focused Scott looked. I thought he looked right on it.
Well, Tom Cousins seems to be timing his run like Seabiscuit the horse.
The Death Star, the Grim Reaper, Lord Voldemort.
It's in Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit.
Topcat. It beat War Admiral. There you go. The unbeatable horse, it beat it.
Tom Cousins has made the perfect start to this second session. He's 2 from 2 and has the next break. Now, by the time Scott Pope comes to the table, he might only be 1 frame in front. That's how quickly things can change in this game.
Yep, incredible stuff. Well, the 8's in.
Fantastic break. 8 going on its spot will be a beauty for him.
Got a nice easy yellow over the middle. We'll take a red in the other middle, depending where he wants to go. I think it's a funny one, that. I think red's actually. What about red onto yellow onto red and play that 3-ball plant into the centre? It's making a big statement.
just pots it clean.
Trying to come down a bit further, I think, for the two reds, well, the middle red of the three. Wanted to play that in the corner. That just opens up a bit of space between the other two reds in the 8 ball. Not happy where he landed, so he's going back upstairs. Cue ball.
Still hasn't got his line right.
Uh-oh.
It's going to fall in. I mean, he's a really tough in off there.
Yeah.
That's pretty brutal. But he didn't get his line right. Wanted to avoid that flick altogether. Ended up at the bottom left side of the table. That's the thing with Tom. You know what he's going to do. His MO is clear. He's going after those difficult areas immediately.
Oh, just there when Tom went in off, it was like Master gave Dobby a sock and Dobby is free.
God.
I think he's just come far enough here, Scott Pope. That's quite handy. Easy position now onto the last yellow at the bottom of the table. So that in-off from Tom Cousins is going to be costly. And in goes the black, and Scott Pope edges one closer to the finish line.
Yeah, and I'm sure Scott Pope is in his chair right now pretty pleased at how the last few frames has gone, because starting this session, if he wins 1 frame for every 2 that Tom wins, he will win the match. That's the advantage he's given himself. So he needs to just keep at the required run rate, if you like.
Frame 60. Scott Pope's break. Leading 9 frames to 6.
Booming break.
Yeah, that's a great break, but not.
Oh, the leave. Is he on the red? I think he is. He's
He is.
okay.
The one's come up the top to save him there. Well, no prizes for guessing what colour Scott Pope's going to take. I don't think he's quite on that one in the middle. Having to just bend round this slightly. Played that very well. Needed to play that one as well because he didn't want to have to come down for the 3 reds at the bottom and then go back up again. So now he's just got to mind his work here with this red at the top of the table. Make sure he leaves himself a shot. on the red that's loose on the left. Big shot here. Just drops this in, brings the cue ball up above the yellow. And this could be 2 in a row to reply to Tom Cousins' 2. This all from that booming break from Scott Pope. So this black to get to double figures and be just 3 away from what would be an incredible victory.
Yeah, we built up Tom Cousins' start to this session. But Scott Pope has equalled it. Looks zoned right in. 2-2 in the session. 10-6 the scoreline. Scott Pope is 3 from home.
Cousins under the whip. Huge break.
Tom Cousins has been in similar positions before. Wants to summon those powers of recovery. Oh, it's a lovely little shot. Delicate.
Still got another one to shift out as well.
I wonder if he can pinch enough of the pocket here. He tried.
He did. He did exactly that, JMO, and he didn't make the pot.
Just goes to show that any pot is missable when you're trying to cheat it like that. That's a pretty good opening shot from Scott Pope too. And Tom Cousins right now is absolutely on the ropes. Because for all money, it looks like Scott Pope.
Dangerous shot he played there.
Well, I was about to say for all money, it looks like he's going 11-6 up. Not right now, it doesn't look like it. Safety incoming though, he has control of the frame. It's a good shot. Not sure he's got it.
No, he's left him a red, but he's going to have to bridge right over the top of that yellow. So awkward cueing here for Topcat.
Brilliant shot. Not the greatest safety that from Scott Pope. It wasn't the greatest shot he played before it either.
No.
Maybe a little chink in the armour. Tom Cousins is not going to give up second chances.
Just got to get straight really behind this other red. He's gone too, oh, he's bumped off the rail. I don't know why you just drop it in dead weight, leave it straight. You haven't got to do anything with the cue ball. It's straight black in the corner. Careless from Tom.
This is now very missable. Oh, how's your pot? That is a clutch pot. Misses that, and he's 11-6 down. With Scott Pope 2 away.
He's played such a loose shot for Topcat, but then the recovery after it with the cut up the rail just shows you why he's one of the greats. A lot of players there, myself included, or whatever, you play that shot, I think I'll be that cross with myself, I wouldn't be able to play the next shot properly.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the way he thinks, oh, I mean, he looked in disgust, but then got himself together and played just such a lovely shot up that rail.
Well, he has got...
But that's so loose.
Yeah, it is. He has got fantastic temperament, TC. It's not perfect. He's spoken to us before about being annoyed at how he's played and essentially played sort of angry pool, and he's found himself a rhythm. I don't think this is that, but...
And then he went from that loose shot to that.
Oh, that's clean, isn't it?
Oh,
so clean.
But he's played it aside as well to guide it away from the middles as well.
And the cue ball's there. Hayden Hughes in the house. The man they call the Nugget in the middle of that little trifecta. Watching on in the corner of Tom Cousins.
Well, 𝗬𝗏, the referee, just getting his balls tightly packed, as he always does. See one of our top referees, along with Daryl and Dean, that are here this weekend. Rich Rhodes, obviously another one, but he's not here at this one. It's in our A team of refs. Who are you going to call? Exactly.
Makes a ball. How's the leave? How's the leave? I don't think this is bad at all.
No, it's not. If he can play that plant straight down the road, but then you've got to be careful with the second yellow. He's going for reds.
No, it's yellows. He's sticking it back.
Do you know when he's queuing over there? Because I was looking at the overhead on the side of me, I thought it looked like he jacked up the queue to play the red. So, should have looked at the other screen to see what was going on.
That was the issue with playing that shot first, though. The cue ball was always going to run a little bit. He's chasing a touch. Just needs a good shot to get back in position.
That plant worries me down there.
Well, he's on it now.
Yeah, but the reason it worries me is where the second yellow is going to finish. If you play this slowly, it's got to come away from the one that's over the pocket, so it's going to go towards the reds. Ideally, it wants to sit on the bottom rail. Well, he's punched it out. Wow.
Still on?
Well, I'll tell you what.
I think it is. Oh, I don't know, you know.
That was, you trust into fortune when he belted that in there. I think he expected a second yellow to bump into the reds then.
I'm not sure that goes. That looks really tight.
But what he wanted the second yellow to do was to bump into the reds and knock him away and leave his yellow anywhere near that pocket, and it's not happened. And I don't think that goes.
I think he's in bother.
The way I'd like to play it was slowly, but leave the second yellow on the bottom rail, if you like. You know, to the bottom of those two reds, then it's easy.
Going into it.
I think he has to. There's no value in trying to cover the pocket. It's like the worst shot you can play, because Tom will have a loss of turn and put him in real trouble.
Doesn't just need to go into it, though. He needs to land on it.
Well, never going to do anything by coming into the back of him. He tried to come across and into the yellow, but got a bit of topspin on that one.
An opening. Oh, it wasn't a million miles away. But Tom Cousins gets to sweep up. This will be Well, this is our 6th frame of the session. And they've gone in pairs.
So far. Takes these two reds at the bottom now.
I said earlier that as long as Scott Pope wins 1 for every 2 of Tom's, he'll be A-OK. But it might make it a bit nervy because he's just breathing down his neck.
Yeah, there's mileage in this match yet.
Second time I think he's tried to play on this red up the rail. Just hasn't quite got his line completely right.
This is frame shot.
Yeah, this is cash ball.
Well, he knows they go straight up there because he played one in the last frame.
Judged it well.
Red on the top rail next. Get behind, 2 reds in the same bag here. Down for the black. So this 8 ball to keep with this evening's pattern of 2s, like you said, J-Mo, this for 10-8. And in it goes, and Tom Cousins fires back. Just trails by the 2 again. Scott Pope had a good chance in that frame. All became about that plant down the rail. Didn't work out for Scott. So Tom Cousins to break off. Can he break tonight's pattern?
Need to do.
He's made a ball.
Pretty good start. You'd
Made a couple of
suggest.
balls.
Bit congested.
Yeah, made a couple of reds. Yellow stuck to the 8 ball. Not sure that goes. If it does, yellows are great. To be fair, so are reds, because the 2 reds that are stuck together at the bottom, the bottom one goes clean into the corner, so either ball, there's an out. Well, he's landed a little bit awkward bridging over, but he can still make the yellow into the centre pocket, and it's fine. He's nudged out that contentious yellow that I wasn't sure whether it went past the black, and I don't think it did. That's why Tom has moved it into open play. So a bit of bridging over here for Tom.
Oh,
That's big. That is big. Because when he got the first 2 of tonight's session, he had an in-off, made a mistake. He's got himself into the same position he was earlier, and he's made a mistake. And these reds are all there.
that middle pocket has been a bit problematic today. There's a couple of big missed pots in it. None bigger than that, though.
Ooh, pushing that red close to that rail. He can't play it now. He's going to have to come upstairs. He would have loved to play that red, but he just potted him. Get on the next one here.
This is no longer an easy finish.
No, it's all about the red that's down the bottom, well, near the rail. You've got to play to get on the one next to the black now. You have to. In fact, you don't have to. Now, when you play such a good shot, I didn't know he had that angle, but he did. I thought he was going to be too far away. but now you do come downstairs. But he's got to come far enough so he can pot the red cleanly and bring the cue ball out. If it's a slight angle, he's okay because you can screw the cue ball off the yellow and it'll still come out for the black. Got to dig this a bit now.
Yeah, good shot required.
You see digging down deep into the cue ball here. Screws off the yellow and that should guide it back for the 8.
Yeah, perfect, great shot. Great bottle this from Scott Pope.
Yeah, did well there, Scott. 11-8, but that is one that really got away there from Tom Cousins.
Yeah, massive chance goes awry to win 3 straight and really put the heat on Scott Pope.
Yeah, that was huge. If Scott goes on and wins this match and he wins by a couple of frames, that will be the one we look back at.
Yeah, I think that's the one that got away, for sure. These long races, though, there's always something. Tom had plenty of early chances, as difficult as they were, couldn't quite get out. That allowed Scott to capitalise. But ultimately, these long races, they do come down to moments. And that was a big one. 3-frame difference. Scott Pope 2 from home. Scratches. Is that just the first little sign of a little bit of nerves, maybe? Because his break has been pretty bulletproof throughout.
Yeah, straighten off. It's the cardinal sin of breaks, I always say it. Straighten off in the middle. You can cope if it's been bumped in by another ball. But that's loss of control with a white. And Cousins with a gift of a finish, which would be just what he needed after the mistake in the last frame.
Doesn't have to worry at all about the match clock. There is loads of time. This match will play out.
He gets these and then breaks and finishes and it becomes 11-10. We're now in squeaky bum time.
Yes, we are. It's been a fantastic match right the way throughout. And the thing is with Tom, we saw that massive mistake in the last frame. But he's at such a level that it's never ever a pattern.
No, it doesn't affect him.
Doesn't affect him at all. Massive mistake and it would wobble lesser players, but he's got such an armour of confidence around him that it doesn't seem to lead to more mistakes. That was a smooth, composed finish. He's back in the game. The previous frame is vanquished from his mind, and he's back breathing down the neck of Scott Pope, who broke clean in off there and gave up that great opportunity. And now Tom Cousins is breaking to go one behind. This match is far from done.
Well, you feel if Tom hadn't missed that ball in the middle that he was bridging over, it would have been level now. But those are ifs and buts, and we can go back through lots of frames.
Yeah.
We've had 20 frames, but fascinating at the moment.
Tom's starting to break really, really well.
He has to.
In the first session of this match, Tom was breaking and they were coming out really tricky, was having to work really hard. Even for the best player in the world, it's not an easy game sometimes. But right now, this is simply about holding yourself together, just executing. This is a finish that he would expect to get 10 times out of 10. Could go either colour set here. Just depends on how he sees it. Every single ball on the table has a pocket. This is manna from heaven at 11-9 down. It will be yellows.
Well, you've got to say these should be gone in any shape or form. You don't have to be the world #1 to be putting these. But it helps.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's a match you can't take your eyes off now. We're right at the business end, and this is only the opening match, or the opening round.
Saw it last year, so many matches went deep and close. High class affairs. This, another. Scott Pope, for his part, has been fantastic. Toe to toe, every step of the way, with the best player in the world.
And he's still the slight favourite because he does have the lead. Cousins is trying to chop it. He's been hacking away at him in this evening session.
Oh, and Scott Pope flew straight into the court, into the side pocket on his previous break. That was the last shot he played. His next break looks like it'll be played at just 11-10. Was 11-8.
This 8-ball to be breathing down Scott Pope's neck. This 3-11-10, and in it goes. Cousins is right on his tail.
Yeah, it really is game on now. Huge pressure here on the Scott Pope break. Needs to find that rhythm, that stroke that he had for pretty much every single break of this match, bar his last, which was wild and loose. That is the face of a man who believes.
Well, he's held himself together all through this match very well. And like you say, he's been toe-to-toe with the best around tonight, or earlier tonight in the first session and back again. But this is where it all counts now. Well, he made another ball. I mean, that's good. That's a good break.
Yeah, yellow and the 8-ball have gone down. 8-ball comes back up on its spot.
Well, you've got an easy red, or do you take a gamble and play a tougher yellow? I think you play the reds. Right, well, he's played the red in the corner, bumps that one up the top of the table. He gets through now and see that one over the bag. These reds are all there. That's in perfect position now for Scott Pope. Just what you want. 11-10. This will put him on the hill. And Tom Cousins will then require the remaining 3 frames to progress. He's been so good tonight, Scott Pope, at these sort of finishes. He's been relentless of taking them out. Oh my word.
Wow, wow, wow. Pressure.
That was it. Looking for some headphones.
Get your fan back on, cool the neck.
Yeah.
It's Tom Cousins' hot breath you can feel on it.
Unless he's got a Rosetta Stone tape in there, he's learning French. Yeah, say 𝗨𝗡𝗙𝗃, s'il vous plaît. The bill, please, for my lesson at pool. Well, incredible stuff. Scott Pope, just when you thought he was going to get on the hill, missed a routine red, and Cousins mops up 11 all. It's now a best of 3.
How are your nerves?
Mine are fine, JMO.
I wasn't asking
I
you.
know you weren't.
Tom Cousins can smile. I dare say his opponent probably isn't.
No.
Yeah, not exactly a happy camper.
And you wouldn't expect it. And I was saying there just in commentary then, he's been so clinical. You know, I watched that first session out from the other room, and he was so clinical. One frame in particular in the first session, he hammered 2 yellows down rails that were just, you know, like they weren't there. And it's just, it's that Tom Cousins factor. Is it again? We do see it from time to time when you think he's just about to be chopped down, and all of a sudden the player that's at the table has a bit of a meltdown. How close is the cue ball?
Cue ball stays up.
Oh.
Yellow goes in. So does a red. Look at those reds, Tony. Look at them.
Yeah, but the 2 near the middle are not that easy. You need to have a second look, Jamin. But all Tom wants is a ball down and hand on the table, and he can work his magic from there.
Tom Cousins was 8-4 down at the interval. That was 11-8 down. Comes round to look at those 2 reds by the middle pocket. That's the key to the frame, as you rightly identified, Tony. They do go independently of each other. You can see that there. The easternmost red is available to bottom left, and I think that's what he will take now. Get the problem off the board.
Yeah, well, Tom's not scared of a pot.
But he knows how big it is. He's
does.
fully sized it up.
The thing, though, that goes against Scott here, though, is that how many big pots has this man pulled out when they've been needed in his illustrious career?
Oh, crisp.
That one wasn't coming back, was it?
Bulleted it in. It just shows how confident he is in his potting, because if there was any flicker of self-doubt, you don't play that at 1,000,000 miles an hour, because you've got to be perfect.
And we're going to go back a few minutes ago. I thought he's pretty much done.
Yep.
Scott getting onto the hill
That missed to the middle pocket.
at 12-10. I think with Tom requiring all 3, you think Scott's going to get a chance, and it may be gone for Tom. But you now look here, and Tom's very close to getting on the hill himself, and this would be 4 in a row.
Yeah, from 11-8 down, Tom Cousins is going to beat Scott Pope to the hill.
Perfect position.
Tom Cousins 1 away. It's been an extraordinary performance.
What a match we've had. Said it all. Got a feel for Scott. He's not the first one to do it against Cousins. I mean, the match is not over by any stretch of the imagination, but Scott's going to drag himself out of a big hole. Because psychologically, he's got to be really hurting. Because all that's been replaying in his mind will be that misread 2 racks ago. Has to. So it's now Scott Pope who requires both these last 2 frames.
He will get a chance. Scott Pope to save his skin.
Yeah, it's not an easy one though, is it? Wow, that's probably the worst split we've seen for quite a while. Yellow's no good because yellow's stuffed behind the 8 ball at the top. So you feel you're going to have to go reds. But then it's the black that's going to need to be moved. There's an awkward red at the top of the table as well to get on, or coupled, should I say. So plenty of work here for Scott Pope. So he's going to have to really dig deep. The man from Somerset. Played a great shot there. Red off the cushion, off the 8 ball.
And
So
everything
open-
goes.
Open that up.
Are we going hill? Tell you what,
That was such a big shot.
yeah, Scott Pope got asked a mighty question in this frame.
Still
Essentially, how's your nerve? And he is going to have to answer that question over the next couple of shots.
That's not great.
Yeah, just go, and you're talking fractions. Just got it fractionally wrong. He may have to reroute. It is not
He'll
ideal.
have to reroute, but his shot's not going to be easy. Even if he plays the one that's easy over the bag, it's controlling the cue ball now.
He has got centre of the cue ball, which helps.
Cue ball, middle bag, it's close.
He's okay.
Oh.
He's okay.
Well, he's
He's
very
actually-
straight. Now, does the red, the loose one, not the one that's next to the black, does it pass it into the top left? It does. So he needs to just leave himself nearly straight on that. And if he does, he'll be home and hosed, and this will go hill. So you fancy him to make the pot. There's nothing really to do here. Just get the weight right. He's come too far. Way too far.
Oh, it's so easily done. It's so easily done. He can still make this red. He's still on it, but he's going away from his work. He's got to find an all-star cue ball.
Yeah, deep screw into the bottom rail. It has to be clean off that bottom rail and back up. Can't go any angles. Oh, he's played that well, has he? Oh, it's just gone away from it.
Disaster.
It looked good. The weight was right. Just dug slightly too deep, but he couldn't. He had to get into it, and well, this looks like he's going to have a belt.
Well, Scott Pope took down a fair few of Tom Cousins' Horcruxes, but in the end, Lord Voldemort looks like he's going to survive.
Wow. I'm not sure he goes game here.
Yep, there's reasons not to.
If he can make this yellow, obviously it will, but this looks a bit... It's tricky, yeah. He's gone for the safety.
Oh, he's played that well. Dangerous shot.
Oh,
that.
horrible shot to play with that sort of weight.
You'd
Even up
never
this-
played that in a million years.
It made me grimace looking at it. It's horrible.
You'd have never played that in a
Never.
thousand years.
I'd have rather take a run up like Happy Gilmore and just slapped it round the table. Just no way. Oh, horrible
He's
shot.
judged that so well.
He has.
Scott Pope played a similar one, if you remember, when he had the 3 yellows on the right side of the rail. Doesn't take much to get them wrong and open the frame up for your opponent. He's always going to hit it. He can't track it towards a pocket. And Tom Cousins could go, but again, could opt to be patient. Don't think he will. The Scots probably had as good a result maybe as he could have wished for, really.
He could take the long yellow up into the top left-hand corner. Can have a little dip here, but yeah, he's going to. Missed it. Now then, last chance saloon. This shot for Scott Pope is going to be played from the departure lounge of the airport. Because if he misses it this time, I think it'll be over.
Even if you can find a hole for the red, how do you find one for the 8-ball? What's he got for us? Gives it an almighty heave.
Well,
With
he does
cue
want
ball
to
in
knock that
mind.
yellow out. Well, he's made the yellow slightly easier for Tom Cousins now. Up at the top of the table. Yeah, I think Tom's had enough now of letting Scott Pope fire at this red. Because sooner or later, Scott Pope will make that ball. So I don't think he can wait any longer. He has to go game here now. We should just slide this plant in at the bottom of the table. So it won't be played wants to be played quite softly. Played to perfection. So it's now all about position from last yellow to the 8-ball. Because he's going to shift these two yellows. I think he might take the long yellow into the top left.
Yeah, can see that. Ooh,
Wriggled in.
He's okay.
Yeah, but he desperately wanted this one that's over the bag for his last ball because it's a natural angle just to get up for the black, so it just drops this in. So then you sort of dig half beneath the cue ball, left-hand side, so you come off the one rail and just pass the 8 onto the top rail with the cue ball. So there's no chance of the in-off because you're not going to go close enough to the bag. That's perfect.
Just like that. Oh, he's some boy. He is some boy. Tom Cousins survives in his first match of the Ultimate Pool Masters with a masterful performance. Huge credit to Scott Pope. That was a fabulous match, and Scott once again shows that he belongs at the top level. But in the end, it's disappointment for him. It's victory for Topcat.